LSU's do's and don'ts. We talked about a lot of these things. So I have like 9 things that I want to see LSU do this week. I'm not going to bore you with the run game. Yes, guys, you got to find a run game. I don't know how else to put that. I think that for what it's worth, they've done a lot of things. They've tried a lot of things. They're not consistently trying things, meaning I think that you ran counter really good last week from an offensive line standpoint. The couple of times that you ran the counter, things were there for you to be able to open up and hit the hole. But because Juwan Johnson missed a hole, you didn't go back to it. I'm really interested this week to see if you can have any run game whatsoever. There's a part of me that wants you to at least get to 150 yards. Can you get to 150 yards rushing? Blake at Southeastern. Yeah, they're god-awful in their up front. They are god-awful in their front 7. I hate to say that. I love my alma mater, but they are. If you can't really get to 200, I think it's going to be questionable. They're not good there. You better go in there and get push. In reference to the offensive line in the run game, though, this is where I would want to start off of things I want to see. I want to see Carius Kern. I want to see Carius Kern this week. If we do see him, I fear we will see him at tackle. He's not a tackle. He's not a tackle. He's a guard. Everybody in their right mind knows and should know he's not a tackle. He is a guard. Let that big freak of an athlete run downhill and mess somebody up. If he doesn't know I don't know all the context of why he's not playing. I don't. What I do know the context of is I want to see him. You got to shuffle some things up. If you're not doing good in the run game, why don't you shuffle some things up this week and see what happens? You've been putting Cohen Eccles, you've been putting Paul Mabenga at left guard. And quite frankly, I want to see Carius Kern there. I'm probably not going to get my way. I more than likely am not going to get my way. But I want to see him there. In reference to the run game, I want to see you throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. Literally everything. I want you to offensively come out fast, which we'll talk about next, and I want you to throw the ball all over the yard. But I want you to also, as the game starts, if you're able to put on some quick points, then start running the football and throwing shit at the wall and see what will stick. If you can't run on this front 7, then you have more issues than we need it, and clearly that we need to discuss. All right. The biggest thing I want to see this team do this week is get off to a fast start offensively. If you win the toss, I want the football. I want the football. And I want you to come out guns blazing. I want you to run some tempo. I want you to put the pedal to the metal. I don't want any pussyfooting around this week versus Southeastern. Personally, again, dudes, things that Blake Ruffino just wants to see. Pedal to the metal. I'm not saying go to the line of scrimmage after every play and go hurry up, but run tempo. Snap the ball with 10 to 12 seconds left on the clock. Get some tempo in your offense. Know in that first drive what you want to do. I'm telling everybody and their mama offensively, and I am making them memorize the first 15 plays that we're running on offense. The first 15 plays, start off fast and start finding rhythm. I do think that there is let me say this. There's a thought that I have that I think that you are just leaving so many things open that if you hit the right player in the right situation on some of these things that have been called, I don't think Joe Sloan has been as bad. You're never as bad as it seems, but it's never as good as it seems. I don't think things have been as bad from a play calling aspect as I've seen people just fire him. Guys, quite frankly, there's just a lot of shit that is wide ass open that you are not hitting. And I feel like that there's a translation issue of what needs to be run and what needs to be thrown in the pass game. Run some tempo. Don't let anybody think and say, Garrett, just go out there and throw the ball. Just go out there and be you. Know where you need to go. Study the film. Know where you need to go. You got to get off to a fast start. This sluggish shit offensively to start games is driving me insane. And it's not just a Clemson thing. It's not just a Louisiana Tech thing. It's not just a Florida thing. Because you got to show that you have that in your repertoire, that you get the ball and you can go down there and get 7. Because God bless Christ Almighty if you can't do it versus Southeastern. God bless it. But that is the number one thing. And really, quite honestly, if you have 3 possessions, and I will even spot you that you get a field goal, you got to go get points. For crying out loud, even if you got 10 points, it's an improvement of what you've done in the first pair of drives, even if it's 3 drives. Now, you want to get 21. You want to get, and I get that, but until this offense can show me that they can actually put 3 touchdowns up on the board, I don't care who the opponent is, because quite honestly, I think that there's been a focus issue. There has been a focus issue from you offensively. I know that they're giving you everything that they have. But Brian Kelly on the LSU Plus series came out and said, listen, I just chewed out my coaching staff because we did not prepare better. They showed on LSU Plus today that the preparation for Louisiana Tech, the players admitted, Brian Kelly asked the players on this LSU Plus series where they take you behind the scenes of the football team. They asked him, or he asked the players, do you think that your level of preparation this week was elite? And all of them said no. The entire team saying, no, coach, we didn't prepare at an elite level. You better offensively prepare at an elite level. The truth of the matter is, defensively, they did. Every week defensively, you've been prepared. That's a shot at your offense because you've had a focus issue. All right. Decision making. I got to see you make better decisions in the passing game. I have been slow walking this for 3 weeks, but I'm not going to slow walk it really tonight. I think you're missing way too many open things. I don't think the injury has anything to do with some of these short route concepts. Garrett Nussmeier's injury has nothing to do with you missing some of these short route concepts that you've been missing. I think that from what I have seen personally, that there is too many things that are open underneath that you have missed that even with the injury should have made you more explosive offensively. I thought Brian Kelly mentioned this briefly, but he didn't go in deep detail, and I wish somebody in the press conference would have asked him this, because we have been managing the game and getting in 3rd and shorts throughout the season. Yeah, you have. Nobody has more 3rd and 5 shorts than you on the season. Let me repeat that. There's no offense in the country. You can go check the NCAA website. You can go check PFF. You can go check wherever you want. No team in the country has had more 3rd downs where the 3rd down has been 3rd or 5 shorter than LSU. It doesn't exist. You are one of the worst teams at converting those 3rd downs. One of the worst. There's way too many things open underneath that you're flat out missing that Garrett has got to hit. The thought that I have had, and based off of the things that I have seen, it feels as if that either Garrett is being told to go somewhere else before the snap, or he's preconceiving where he's going with the ball and not doing what the defense is giving him. But that is not an excuse for me. So to turn that into what I want to see happen, if teams are going to put a slot, like a big safety or a linebacker on Aaron Anderson, I really want Aaron Anderson to get 10 plus targets. I do not believe that there are a lot of people in college football that exist right now this season that while Aaron Anderson is lined up in the slot, that can guard him. And there are too many times that even when he's on a linebacker, that we are missing it. There are routes where they bracketed him after he started making some catches, and they bracketed him with a linebacker and they bracketed him with a safety. And you have Bauer Sharp underneath that's wide open, and you're missing it. You got to find the open guy. You got to go through your progressions better. So I want to see you do that, because I think that when I talk about the lack of focus that I feel like I'm seeing, it's not an injury thing. It's hey, Garrett, you're injured, so we got to be completely locked in on where you're going to go in some of these underneath routes. Why has that not been better than what it has been through 3 weeks? It's got to be better. If that is what you're going to do, that has got to be more crisp. The air raid principle offense is predicated on you hitting the open receiver inside of 10 yards and then start getting vertical offensively. You got to find the mismatch. You got to scan and find, is Aaron Anderson lined up on a linebacker? And that's when you find the big play. I thought it happened last week when Garrett missed Aaron in the beginning of the game, and they wind up coming back to the same play but flipped the formation, and then Aaron was lined up on a linebacker and you hit him. Guys, that is multitudes of times against Florida. It happened multitudes of times against Clemson, where they would walk a safety down on Aaron, and he's got a 10-yard cushion, and he's running a slant. Hit him every time, please, and thank you. So that has got to be cleaned up. Whether Garrett is injured or not injured, or you're trying to push the ball down the field, teams will walk up if you're completing consistently in between that 10-yard marker. The safeties will have to walk up if Aaron Anderson gets going. The biggest complaint that I have of this offense is that it takes you too long to get to number one. Way too long. Way too long. Find him soon. Find him often. Guys, he was the number one player in the state of Louisiana, the year in the class that he came out. He is fantastic. Find him early. Find him often. I don't give a shit what any other receiver on that team says. That none of them have the ability to do what Aaron Anderson can do for you. Chris Hilton, that I want to add into there. All right. The time is now. The time is now. Talking about slow playing some things, Chris has had steps on players. He's had steps on corners. And you have not thrown it. All right. Again, Mulligan, you better push the ball down the field. Yeah, I know you hadn't practiced it, but good Lord. You got to find Berryon and you got to find Chris. Last but not least, I want to see Harlem Berry. I thought he would get more touches than one last week. I know the trust factor in big games with young players is something that's very sensitive. I get it. You got to get Harlem Berry touches. Is he the running back that you're missing that can hit some of these big plays? Harlem Berry has a big game versus Southeastern. You better work him out there against Ole Miss. You don't park a Ferrari in the garage, by the way. Meaning if you're putting Harlem Berry in there, so what if they know it's a run? So what if they know that he's going out on a passing pattern? I think the biggest excuse that I've seen from people saying why Harlem Berry's not playing is because of pass pro. Why in the hell are you letting him stay in there and pass pro any damn way? Don't park a Ferrari in a garage. Go crank that sucker and let it go. Couple of things that I just don't want to see this week. I don't want you to start off slow offensively. That is a given. But I also want to see that what I don't want to see is a massive rotation early on in the game at wide receiver. I don't think Kyle Parker is more talented than some of the guys that you're not playing over them. You have a 4 to 5 man rotation right now. Your 5-man rotation should be, and not limited to, Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas, Berryon Brown, Nick Anderson, and Chris Hilton. That should be your 5. No one else should see the field. No one. And if you got to go 4 wide, go 4 wide. But here's another thing I don't understand. Why are we putting Bauer Sharp in the slot when you could put a guy that's more productive in that position that can run routes? Bauer Sharp running routes in the slot is not better than going 2 slot guys that you have in Xavier Thomas and Aaron Anderson. If you're going to go 4 wide, open that sumbitch wide open like it's the Rock in the mid-90s Attitude Era. Shine that sumbitch up nice, turn it sideways, and stick it straight up your candy asses. If you're going to go 4 wide, let's go get it. Let's go get it. So that's me. That's what I think. All right. Last but not least, notice how these segments are having absolutely nothing to do with the defense. Be yourself. Be yourself. The only issues that you have as a team right now are predicated on what you're doing on offense. But Brian Kelly came out and said, we're 8 wide receivers deep. No, you're not. You're 5 wide receivers deep. And I don't understand some of the formation stuff that they've been running. Now, the excuse is going to be, and it's not really an excuse, but the real truth of it is we did some of these things because we trust Kyle Parker to block. We trust this. We were trying to manage the game in a different way. All right, well, you're out of it now. You're out of it now. Bauer Sharp is going to get covered. If you're going to go 4 wide, then put Aaron in a slot and put Xavier in a slot and go make teams guard you. Guess what? When you go 4 wide, this is what's going to happen. With the production of Aaron Anderson, with the production of Xavier Thomas, with the speed of Barrion Brown and the speed of Chris Hilton, the truth of the matter is that they can only put 5 guys in the box. Only 5. When you spread them out, they don't have a choice but to put 5 guys in the box based off of what you can do from the wide receiver position and the issues that you cause. Let's stop right there for just a moment. Let's stop right there for just a quick moment. If they don't put 5 guys in the box and they still put 6, or they do something where they have 6, that means that you have 2 slot. One of the 2 slot guys is going to have a safety on him, or they're going to run some kind of coverage to try to take it away in zone coverage. Sounds good. It's a mismatch. Then don't run the football. Then you have more guys. They have more guys in the box than you have to block. Sounds good. Then let that puppy rip. It's not that difficult. I think that we feel as if that we have tight ends that we want to get involved. You've tried to go to Bauer Sharp. And I don't mind Bauer Sharp having a role, or any tight end on this offense having a role. The biggest play offensively that you have is to Bauer Sharp. I'm not saying go away from the tight end. But if you want to get this run game going, you got to get numbers out of the box. And you can't put a tight end out there who is going to block from the slot. You're taking away Bauer Sharp. If you're going to put a tight end in the game, put him near the line of scrimmage, please, dear God. If you're going to put him in the slot, motion him in to the line of scrimmage. But that's the things that I don't want to continue to see. Defensively, in the do's and don'ts, there's nothing. There's just no. Guys, Southeastern could score 21 points this week, and it won't matter to me. It won't matter to me. I just got a message here. It said, Blake, the people's elbow or the rock bottom? The people's elbow. I want this offense shine like a boot from the Rock in the mid-90s. Shine that sumbitch up nice, turn it sideways, and stick it straight up your candy asses. the philosophy doesn't make sense to me. So, can you change it? Will you change it this week? Will be a big question.